back on the lineup alongside Joe Plotchick, Ryan Croak. I'm Jake Bowen. Guys, it's time to get into the head coaching changes, signings that have happened over the past week. And we got to start with the biggest headline. Lane Kiffin going from Ole Miss to LSU. Your instant thoughts on this whole debacle of the situation?
It was crazy, man. I mean, you had Florida in the mix there. They were out. They got Summerall, and he went to LSU. My first thoughts, just kind of an immature handling of it by Kiffin. I mean, that's a really tough decision, especially having to make it before the playoffs. But I just didn't think he handled it very well. He's taken a lot of offensive staff with him to LSU, which is great for the Tigers. I did see that Weiss, their OC, he will be coaching for Ole Miss in the playoffs, which is great for the Rebels. But I really feel bad for the Rebels. I mean, this is one of, if not the greatest regular season they've ever had.
First 11-win season.
First 11-win season, there you go. And I've said on this show, I think they are a legit national championship contender. Maybe not anymore. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Jake used the word debacle, and I really don't think there's a better word to describe this situation. Here's the thing with this whole thing for me. It comes down to the calendar. Now, I completely agree with Kiffin's handling. It's totally immature. This is a guy who loves the spotlight. It's another messy exit. It happens so many times. It's a Kiffin thing. It is what it is. He handled this poorly. Because a lot of other coaches are in a similar situation, and they all handled it better than him. So let's just get that out of the way. But the real problem is the college football calendar. Because just listen to this, Jake. Today started the early signing period. We've seen it all day. Recruits signing with these teams as signing is now officially open. The college football playoff begins in a couple weeks. Yes, the conference championship games have not been played. Transfer portal opens January 2nd. The national championship's on January 19th. And now February 4th is the official national signing day. So what that basically means is that free agency begins before we know who the Big Ten and SEC champions are. Free agency begins before the playoffs begin. That's putting it in NFL terms, essentially. That's absurd. No professional league does it, and college football and the NCAA shouldn't do it either. It's absurd, and I think that Kiffin got put in an awful spot because of the calendar. You see Penn State, obviously, the whole reason you fire James Franklin early in the season, you want to get a coach in so you have recruits on early signing day. Now, we're going to talk about that in a second. But back to Kiffin. Kiffin got put in an awful spot because of the calendar. Did he handle it poorly? Of course he did. He made a big spin of it. He was keeping people on the hook. He was leveraging every situation he had, and he ended up going with LSU. It is what it is. Wanting to coach Ole Miss in the playoff is absurd, but it's a decision he shouldn't have to make because the calendar puts him in that tough spot. Kiffin is a victim of the circumstance, and while he handled it poorly, he shouldn't be completely villainized for how this thing's played out. The calendar is the main problem.
I agree.
There are a couple things here. First of all, college football, the way it's run, it's beautiful to watch. It's just dysfunctional. And that's why the NFL will always be run better and is a better sport because college football doesn't have the people behind it to make it function properly.
Doesn't mean the NFL is well run.
The second thing,
it's not as fun, though.
The second thing I will say, that's debatable. The second thing I will say, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on the situation he was put in. Look at Kalani Sitake. He's staying. He's saying, I'm going to stay at BYU.
You know what he's doing, though, because he's leveraging them to pay him the money. You know, Florida letting Summerall stay, again, it's completely different with Kiffin because Florida and Auburn, like those are teams that have hired new coaches from these group of 5 schools and say, hey, if you get a bid, go coach your team in the playoff. It's different, though, for Kiffin because he's leaving for a rival. He's leaving for an SEC team. He's not leaving. He's not jumping from FAU to Ole Miss. He's jumping from Ole Miss to LSU.
I still think LSU, the door is going to be open when he's done with the playoffs for Ole Miss. I don't think
if you're Keith Carter at Ole Miss, you cannot. Lane Kiffin is not bigger than Ole Miss. You're Keith Carter. You represent the biggest athletic program in the state of Mississippi. You cannot let Lane Kiffin say, "Hey, I'm leaving you for the prettier girl over there," but you know what? Let me stay around for a little while longer and make sure I get the most I can out of you before I go. Like, that's absurd. That's absurd. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous to suggest that Kiffin should have been coaching them in the playoff.
I think that's a terrible as a coach, though. You leave your team, a program that he has built. LSU was nothing before him. He came, he built that program. Wouldn't you want to finish that out?
I agree 100%. I would have rather seen him stay at Ole Miss, but again, that's Lane Kiffin's decision to make. I'm not going to fault him for making the choice he made. I'm going to fault him for the way he handled that decision, and I think that was poorly handled by him.
Right, and you say a program that's Ole Miss is bigger than him. You want to talk about a program that's bigger than Lane Kiffin? It's LSU. You know, he's got to make that move. They're going to force him to.
Well, Kiffin, obviously the headline. We've got a couple of other ones to talk about. A couple of standouts. We each have one to pick from. Ryan, I see that smile. Who's your guy?
I have been waiting to talk about this for a long time. This is one that I've teased you with, Joel, for a couple days now because I don't think you're ready for my pick. You've been speculating. You're expecting the Pat Fitzgerald answer. It's not Patty Fitz.
Or Chesney.
It's James Franklin at Virginia Tech.
Wow.
Listen. There is not a better situation for James Franklin. Wow. A team that has absolutely zero championship expectations, just wants to be relevant, a couple winning seasons, have some fun, be in a bowl game, go win a bowl game, who cares, man? Come on, Mr. 10-win season, James Franklin. Go beat whoever the heck you want in the whatever bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl. Go have fun, James. And that's exactly what he's going to do with these Hokies. I mean, talk about the recruiting. He's done a great job already. They're going to be a solid team in an awful conference, the ACC, that's just been embarrassed all year. It's a perfect fit. He has no championship expectation. There's no pressure on him to win these big games, to put them on the national stage like there is at Penn State. It's perfect for him. He can win 10 games against terrible teams, win every game he should win, and lose some games that go, well, do we really care? It's Virginia Tech. It's not Blue Blood. It's Virginia Tech.
Right. I mean,
it's
this
perfect for him.
Top 15 coach and not a top 15 program.
It's a match made in heaven. It really is.
Your pick, Joel.
You know, this is very recent. I have to go Brian Hartline to USF. The price isn't even out there yet. 6-year deal. I don't care what the price is.
Agreed.
That is an absolute steal. And I love the matchup because USF is already a great non-Power 4 team. And then you put in Brian Hartline with his elite level of recruiting and development.
Yep.
And I think he's one of, if not the readiest assistant to take that jump to head coach. I absolutely love the hire.
Yeah, before you go, Jake, I just one more thing I wanted to add. You could argue, even though that he has I don't want to jump the gun because Hartline's first time being a head coach now. You could argue that USF got an upgrade at head coach. You really can.
Definitely.
You really can. And that is, you can't ask for a better switch if you're USF. You really can't.
One coach who I think is also just as ready to step up is Bob Chesney, the former James Madison coach, now go to UCLA. Look, this is exactly how it was for Kirk Cignetti, going to a team that was irrelevant and turning them around. I don't know if Chesney's going to turn around UCLA that quick, but I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA in a couple of years is contending. Listen, this year with James Madison, 17th best offense, 11th best defense in the country. He's really revolutionizing this program.
Right. I love the pick. He's a great coach.
We're going to wrap up quickly talking about a coach. We're going to go to you, Joel, because it's your team, the Blue Blood. Who knows if they're Blue Blood now?
They're not a Blue Blood, but sure.
According to Ryan Croak,
they used to be.
Not Terry Smith. Penn State doesn't have a coach. So what do they do?
Listen, today is early National Signing Day. There's no head coach. They have the worst FBS class currently. This is just a dumpster fire. The search couldn't have gone worse. You get rid of Franklin hoping to have a plan, and Pat Kraft struck out on everything. Did he even have a plan? I'm not sure. And you want to know what he did that's the most impressive? He did something that not even to the level of James Franklin. He managed to disappoint the entire Penn State fan base tenfold what Franklin ever did. It is absolutely horrendous. It's his one job. This is the biggest moneymaker at Penn State, and he utterly failed. And if he can't get DeBoer to switch somehow by a miracle and to jump ship and come to Penn State, he better clean his desk, start packing his house up, and get out of State College. And if I'm Penn State, you absolutely have to hire Terry Smith. He knows the culture. He knows the program. Make it a 2-year bridge type of thing like what they did with Bill O'Brien. But if there is anybody that's going to redeem those actions, that the incompetencies of Pat Kraft, it's Terry Smith. And similar to linebacker Michael Maudie, he was a figure in Penn State history after the sanctions. The community rallied around him. He's somebody that the community is rallying around, and I really think he could just be a great fit for a few years there at the very least.
Yeah, I'll go quickly here. I mean, I've been preaching optimism throughout this. I said, hey, Brian Hartline's still available. But when I got that news this morning, that was the last string keeping me from saying this is an utter disaster.
Right.
And it dropped today, and it's just an embarrassment for Penn State. Brian Hartline was a dream target at the beginning of the coaching search, and now he's at a Group of 5 school. You're telling me you couldn't get that guy locked up? What are we doing, Pat Kraft? It's really a disaster.
I don't think Kraft even took a swing at anybody. I'm going to be honest. I don't think
It's
he
just a
was really
complete
ready.
mistake.
He wasn't ready.
No matter what it is with the Hartline thing, it's just poor by Pat Kraft. No matter what happened in that. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, but whatever it is, it's an awful look for Pat Kraft. Awful.
All I will say is give the players what they want. Hire Terry Smith. Coming up next, we've got probably our most anticipated segment all year long, the College Football Playoff Committee.